right, welcome in to another edition of the Hockey Night on Broad Flyers pregame show. Tonight, the Philadelphia Flyers play host to the New Jersey Devils as they meet up for the second time this season and a second of the first of a back-to-back here tonight in South Philadelphia. And a very good evening, everybody. I'm your host, James Scorza, with you for the next 15 minutes or so. As for the Flyers coming into this game tonight, looking to try to get back on track after a disappointing outing of a back-to-back of the New York road swing as they took on the Rangers on Thursday night. Did not have a very good performance, and they did again on Friday night up in Belmont against the Islanders, and sadly, it wasn't the case for the Flyers once again as they're looking to try to get back on track here tonight for the second game, or for the first of many of these Metropolitan Division foes. As we always do, we always check out the recap of the previous game like we always do. So for the first period, it was a real physical first period for the guys in orange and black and the New York Islanders on this very night, and would stay that way halfway through the first period until it was a goal. It was like the Flyers trying to get on the board first as an immediate response by the Flyers after a good physicality by both the Flyers and the Islanders, and it was Tyson Forster, giving the Flyers an early 1-0 lead in the first period. But later on in the first, right back though, came the Isles, and a major cause for concern for Ivan Fedotov, who would give up 2 unanswered goals in that game. The first one came just around the 4-minute mark, and then right before the period came into the end, it was Bo Horvat giving the Islanders the lead. And just like that, the goals, it looked like it was a good first period that the Flyers could have had, but unfortunately, it was hard to handle, and obviously, it did not go the way we expected to go. But Ivan Fedotov, like I said, giving up 2 unanswered goals to the Islanders, and coming back and biting them where it hurts the most, and it stayed that way after 20 minutes to play, after 20 in the books. To the second end, the Flyers are going to try to have an approach, but the difference was in this game was that the team continued to turn the puck over at many times on the Flyers front, but it was the Islanders scoring the third and final goal of the game, right when they had the opportunity to do so, and this time it was the Islanders getting another goal as it was the last couple nights for the Flyers, only scoring 1 goal. But the New York teams, especially like they have talked, like I mentioned, like either the Rangers or the Islanders, the thing that made it even more worse about it is that the Flyers continue to show what they're made of. And obviously the one thing that was concerning, though, it stayed that way after 40 minutes to play. And to the third and final period inside Belmont that night up against the Flyers and Islanders. It was the big story in the first period was physicality for the Flyers and the Islanders on this very important part, but the Flyers did not get a chance to start a comeback or even try to start a comeback. Unfortunately, it was the Islanders, the one that got all full control of it, but the difference was the Islanders looked like they had a different kind of philosophy, actually, except for the guys in orange and black. But the difference was this night, it was the Islanders getting the 2 points, and now the Flyers losing 2 straight here tonight. I'm not here tonight, but looking to try to avoid 3 straight, especially as they lost 2 straight up, like I mentioned, against the Islanders on Friday night and again against the Rangers on Thursday night, and are trying to get back on track here tonight. So as we set the stage for this matchup between the Flyers and Jersey as the key matchups of this game here tonight. Here's the thing I have to say about this team. It's going to take time for this team to rebuild, obviously. It's going to take a while for the team to get their gel back and try to get back what they're trying to do. But this is probably a good test for the Flyers to get back on track here tonight. Not a good outing on Thursday night against the Rangers. They gave up 6 unanswered goals after having a 1-0 lead. The second game of that game on Thursday, not on Thursday night, but on Friday night, it was another cause for concern after a leading goal. But the difference was Ivan Fedotov giving up 2 unanswered goals. That was one thing that the Flyers had to do better on. But for me, it's kind of unacceptable to say the least, because after the shellacking that the Flyers dealt with back at MSG on Thursday night, I was thinking, okay, this will be a get-right game. But unfortunately, the Flyers just looked like they were just sleeping. I mean, there was like the physicality of the first period was really a good tone setter. But at the same time, you have to do a better job if you want to keep control of the teams around you, especially teams that are even at the bottom of the Metropolitan. It's going to be something to keep a close eye on. And for sure, I mean, this is going to be a tall task here tonight because the last time that Flyers took on the Devils, it was a good outing for the Flyers after an early goal by the Devils in the last meeting. And the last time these two clubs met, Sam Emerson stood tall, and hopefully the same level of intensity tonight will be the same kind of level of intensity, for the Flyers to get back on track here tonight, especially against the New Jersey team, who's right behind I think it's the Capitals on top of that Metropolitan Division. And we'll see them for the first time tonight. We'll see them for the first of a back-to-back. This will be the second time, and they'll be back at Prudential Center for a Wednesday night edition. That will be a TNT Wednesday night hockey edition. So it will be or you could say a Wednesday night rivalry because the Flyers take on the Devils, and there will be a TNT. I would be sure it'll be a doubleheader for that night, so it'll be the first of a doubleheader. So we go, and then after the Devils, they'll take on the Islanders again. So it's like Groundhog Day once again. You would see the Islanders again for the third straight week. It feels like we've been seeing these Islanders kind of like a Stanley Cup playoff series. I mean, we saw them 3 weeks. We saw them 2 weeks ago around the week of the 16th, and then we saw them last week, and then we see them again. And then I think the next time we'll probably see them is probably towards the end of the season. So after that, we'll see the Flyers after that game on Thursday night against the Islanders. They go to Denver to take on the Avalanche at Bowl Arena to try to see what they have in store. And by the way, the Avalanche, on the other hand, I'll tell you more about that storylines about what they have done with those circumstances. We get closer and closer to that game, because it looks to me that the Avalanche were trying to shape off and shape out, or just do whatever they can to just look to try to like trade assets for, and I guess they were trying to get players. I mean, I don't know what was going on with the circumstances, but it was a 3-team trade from the Avalanche, Chicago, and the Hurricanes, and it looks like the Hurricanes are becoming one step closer. There could be another chance to win a Stanley Cup, but I will talk about that as on another night. But let's get into our who's trending up and who's trending down topic of the night. Well, the topic of the night for the Flyers, it's just plain and simple. You got to get back on track here tonight to take on a team that really needs to find what they're capable of and also what the outcome was the last couple nights. Obviously, the big story in that game on Friday night was the presence of Erik Johnson after missing so many games with the club. And seeing him back in action on Friday night, rather, he actually played very, very well. And I expect him to probably play again here tonight as the Flyers take on New Jersey. So Erik Johnson, who basically had a lot of the hits in the game, obviously was a big physicality kind of game, like I mentioned early on. But for me, I would expect more the same here tonight, to do whatever I can to get back on track here tonight as well. All right, let's check out who's trending down on this night. Excuse my cat if you guys heard that. I guess she's a big Erik Johnson fan or something like that. But no, she's fine. Anyway, so let's get into a who's trending down topic. Well, the story of that game on either Thursday night or Friday night was the goaltender situation. That back-to-back nights, Sam Emerson, after giving up 6 unanswered goals, and then on Friday night when Ivan Fedotov gave up 3 goals. That was something that the Flyers have to do better on. And I got to say right now, the one thing I really, really was concerned about is how both they played in the last couple games. And the last time I checked, when the Flyers had to do whatever they can to get back on track here tonight, I would hope to expect to see more of the same here tonight. But for the Devils, don't be surprised. This will be a game to have a get-right game. They actually are on a 2-game winning streak like the Flyers have had. They lost 2 straight, and now the Flyers looking to try to get back on track here tonight. So this will be a tall task here. I would expect to keep a close eye on the Hughes brothers and Jack. And I don't know who's the other brother, but I always talk about him. If I'm troubling his name, please forgive me. I'm not sure who's going to be in that matchup here tonight. But like I said, keep a close eye on for Jack Hughes, Jesper Brad, Nico Hischier, and also maybe a Dougie Hamilton, because he got credit for that other goal that gave the Devils the lead early on, but it was all Flyers after that. So if the Flyers can get back on track here tonight, keep a close eye on for many of them. And also, they're decimated with injuries as well on the goaltender front as well. But like I said, a disappointing outing on Thursday and Friday night as the Flyers had to. And the one thing that they had to get better on is that goaltender situation has to be a lot better than it was both at MSG and Belmont on Thursday and Friday night. All right, let's get into our injuries and scratches for this game here tonight for this matchup. For the Flyers, it was basically the same injuries that they had been lingering, but the difference was there's another player that's now on the injury front right now, Nick Delorier, Ryan Poehling, and now Yegor Zamula is going to miss his first game after playing well on, I think it was on, I keep on saying Saturday, I keep on saying Friday, but the difference was Yegor Zamula is going to miss this game tonight. He's dealing with, I believe, an upper body injury. And the scratches of the game is only one here tonight. Anthony Richard is scratched tonight, so it'll be a healthy scratch for him. Scott Lawton, I would expect he'll be back here tonight after dealing with a family matter during the week. All right, let's check out our starting goaltender matchup tonight for this Flyers-Devils game here tonight in South Philly. And basically, there's going to be a lot of Flyers fans that are still nursing the hangover of that successful championship that won yesterday by the Philadelphia Eagles across the street here. As you can see, more of my Eagles had to support my team. And also, if you're a Seinfeld fan, got to admit, I've got to support the team. So anyways, and by the way, if you haven't seen Seinfeld, that's what I was going at too. So it's a little bit of shtick. All right. So anyways, let's get into our starting goaltender matchup for this Flyers game tonight. And the Devils in goal tonight for the Flyers. It will be Sam Ersson back in goal tonight for the Orange and Black. And he had himself a disappointing outing, but still has the best record that he has for the Flyers this season. He is 14-8-2 this season and has a goals against average of 2.80. That's something that you have to fix, especially if you want to get closer and closer to a better chance that the Flyers have a possibility of winning games when it matters the most. And in goal tonight for the Devils, it will be Jake Allen back in goal tonight after the last meeting they took on against each other. And Jake Allen this year is one game under the 500 mark and also is 7-8-1 this season and has a goals against average of 2.67. So Ersson in goal for the Flyers and Jake Allen in goal for New Jersey. And for my final score here in this game tonight, or my predictions in this game, I would not be surprised this will be a game that the Flyers will have to try to do whatever they can to get back on track, but I can understand this will be a get-right game for the Devils as well after a disappointing outing. They got the last two time. Actually, no, it's the first time. I keep on forgetting it's only the second time it's hard to believe it's only the second time in around right before February, and they only met for the second time this season. But they can bounce, but they'll make it a 3 straight games going back. This will be this first game of a home-to-home. But like I said, for my predictions in this game tonight, I expect hopefully the Flyers will get a win. But this is something that I had to say right now. The Devils are just that too good. They're really, really good. Probably when they bring back Jacob Markstrom from his injury, they'll be back on track. And I can say right now, if the playoffs started today and the Flyers were in the postseason, they would take on either the Devils or the Capitals in the first round, and we still haven't seen them as of lately, and we'll probably see them very, very soon because Alex Ovechkin's chasing goal number 800, trying to chase Gretzky, basically, and that's going to be a big thing to look forward to in that matchup. But like I said, tonight, it'll be the first of a home-to-home tonight, so the Flyers and Devils will play this game here tonight in the Wells Fargo Center, and they'll be back again on Wednesday night too as well. All right, that's going to wrap up our show for the Hockey Night on Board Flyers pregame show. But remember to stay tuned after the game for the Third Line John Flyers postgame show with Pat Bernard and Pavel got you covered for this Monday night edition of the Hockey Night on Board. For the Third Line John Flyers postgame show. They got you covered on this Monday night. I will be back again on Wednesday night. I'll be back again as I'll be doing double duty that night. I'll be doing my pregame show at 6:30 and puck drop at 7 o'clock, and I'll be back for the postgame show with Joey Marks on that night. That will be on Stream Punk Entertainment, and I'll be back right here for the Hockey Night on Board Flyers pregame show starting at 6:30 right here on Hardcore Sports Network. Well, that will wrap things up for tonight for the latest edition of the Hockey Night on Board Flyers pregame show. And thanks once again for joining me tonight. I'm your host, James Scorza, here saying thanks again for watching, and hopefully you guys will be able to hopefully you will have a better outcome here tonight, and hopefully some more positivity after the successful win yesterday by our Birds, winning the NFC Championship game, and also probably do whatever we can to just make sure that Josh Harris doesn't do whatever he can to make sure. I mean, he saw his Commanders lose last night, and let's give him another good reminder about the Flyers getting back on track here tonight, too. Until then, I'm James Scorza here, and this has been the Hockey Night on Board Flyers pregame show. And until then, we'll see you guys on Wednesday night. Until then, enjoy the game, everybody, and we'll talk to you soon.